All right, let's take a look at round one and see how Barry kicked things off. I think no surprise with the first overall pick, last year's ride or die in Jalen Hurts. Of course, once again, this is going to be front-loaded with quarterbacks in a Superflex league. Number 2, Kyle took Mahomes. 3, Cris took Josh Allen. 4, RotoPat takes Joe Burrow. Denny goes a little bit of a different pathway. Respect to Denny, as he's known to do. Takes Justin Jefferson at 5. Nothing wrong with that. Damian takes Lamar Jackson. Sorry, Lawrence. 7, producer Steven took Justin Fields. At 8, Pete took Justin Herbert. At 9, Lawrence took Trevor Lawrence. So 8 of the 9 first picks have been quarterbacks. And then we get a little bit of a different look here as Jay takes Christian McCaffrey. Penn State Blake takes Austin Eckler. And I close out round 1 with Jamar Chase.
To me, the first surprise of this round came in pick 4 when Pat took Joe Burrow ahead of Lamar Jackson or even Justin Herbert, 2 quarterbacks that I have ahead of Joe Burrow. I love me Joe Burrow. He's an investor in fantasylife.com. I love Joe Burrow's accuracy. I love his investment acumen, but it feels weird.
You like his golf?
I like everything about Joe Burrow, but the fact of the matter is Lamar Jackson's going to have a monster season this year. Yes. And I think Herbert has a slightly better year too. Just here's the thing, Burrow had 5 rushing touchdowns last year, and I just don't know how repeatable that is. That felt a little fluky to me.
I think this round 1 is very, very illustrative of this format and how people can get a little carried away with needing to take a quarterback straight away because of how important it is in a Superflex league. And I don't know whether it's an indictment on this group or just the Superflex format in general, but I just don't think there are worlds where like Trevor Lawrence should be going in front of Christian McCaffrey and Jamar Chase. But in one way, I get it because you want to get that guy.
You want to know one world where that would happen? The actual NFL.
Wow.
But that's the point, though. That's the point, is that the reason for the Superflex League is that too often fantasy football doesn't mirror real football. And obviously there's a lot of ways that that's never going to happen. But if you threw all the actual NFL players into a draft and the NFL teams did a real-life redraft, Trevor Lawrence goes many, many, many rounds ahead of Christian McCaffrey in a real-world NFL draft. That's right.
You see a lot of quarterbacks, but also in the Superflex, right? You end up getting value if you don't take the quarterback. You see Jay Croucher getting Christian McCaffrey at 10, like that's still solid. You ain't got a quarterback, right? But you still got him at 10, so you come back.
But Aaron Rodgers also goes before Christian McCaffrey in that situation, I would argue
I would argue that if they drafted today, all the NFL teams, Aaron Rodgers would once again go ahead of Christian McCaffrey. That's what I'm saying,
but he's not going ahead of Christian McCaffrey in this draft in this format. And I get the appeal, and also it does always seem a little bit strange that obviously quarterbacks are so outsized in their production in the real life and also in fantasy. And then if you only have 1 on your team, but you have 2 or 3 running backs, 2 or 3 wide receivers.
It's a larger discussion that we don't have time for here. But the fact is that there's no perfect answer, because the truth is that the reason the Superflex or 2 quarterback league was established is because in a 1 quarterback 10-team league, quarterbacks are way devalued.
Yep.
And it isn't right that you can just go to the waiver wire and pick up Kirk Cousins. Like, you know what I mean? Right. That shouldn't happen, right? You know, that like, oh, I need a guy. Okay, Derek Carr is sitting there. Not that Derek Carr is great, but Derek Carr is like an above average quarterback. Like, okay, there's 17 points that I can just get. And so that's the issue. But what's happened is by doing that, it sort of fixes the problem too much, right? Because whereas quarterbacks were too devalued in single quarterback leagues, now they're way overvalued in 2 quarterback leagues. Superflex leagues are all about the quarterbacks. If it makes you feel any better, Jay Croucher, though, Christian McCaffrey is the emergency quarterback for the 49ers. We saw that in the NFC Championship game. That's right.
To make the Super Bowl.
There you go.
They should have let him air it out more.
Exactly.
Threw a pass, got to throw a pass in there.
Yeah. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and Rotoworld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from Rotoworld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.